Kyra and welcome back to my channel. So I had thought that it'd be fun to come on camera and do a full drugstore soft glam makeup tutorial. I haven't done a full drugstore video in I don't know how long. It has been forever, and y'all know that I love finding good drugstore staples. I am a makeup junkie, but I do love saving coins as well. So I had thought that it'd be fun to come in here and just do a full look using all drugstore products. Things that you can find at like Walmart, Target, even Ulta in the drugstore section. And these are things that I have loved for a long time. So like most of these items are not new items for me because I have loved them and they are tried and true. And I definitely recommend them, which of course I'll mention as I go along. But first and foremost, I'm gonna go ahead and start with some skincare. So I just cleansed my face, so I am completely dry. My face lately, you guys, has been so dehydrated and has been like just soaking up moisture. And I don't know what is going on. Well, I have an idea. I do know what's going on, but I am just trying to work on my skin. Which that will be on another topic, but I'm using the Garnier Skin Active Water Rose 24-Hour Moisture Cream. Now, I have not used this one before. I have used Garnier skincare products in the past, and I love their products. Like, to me, Garnier and Olay and Aveeno, those three to me have like the best drugstore skincare products. And I just love those brands. So like Garnier has been a brand that I have loved. And this water cream, you guys, feels so good. It feels amazing. It feels like you're just splashing on just a ton of water on your face. It's just how my skin is feeling. It just feels like it just got an instant quench of hydration. It feels so good. And I also love the consistency of it. It's like a really soft, lightweight, water-based cream. And it's like once you blend it in, you see my skin looks completely moisturized now. Like it feels so good. So our skin is prepped with our moisturizer. And then you guys, the only thing that I did not have is a drugstore primer. And honestly, I was about to run to the store to find a drugstore primer, but that would be so pointless because you guys, if you guys have watched my videos for a long time, you guys know that I have not had good luck with drugstore primers. I have not found anything that is drugstore that my skin likes. Nothing that has worked well enough that can compare to my higher end primers. Gonna go in with my Milk Hydro Grip. Again, this is like the only non-drugstore thing I'm gonna use today, so sorry about that, y'all. This is also a good moisturizing primer. I really love this one, and it is pricey, definitely far off from drugstore, but I don't want to lie to y'all and be like, oh, let's try this primer, and I'm like, deep down, like I know it sucks, you know. Okay, and then it's taking the Milk Makeup Blur Stick. And I also apologize if you guys can hear construction outside. They're building a house near me, so you may hear it in the background. And if you guys do, I apologize for the background noise. Okay, so now I'm all primed, and that I believe is all of the non-drugstore products that I will be using in today's video. So next up, it is time for color corrector. I'm gonna take the Maybelline Master Camo correcting pen in the shade Apricot. You guys know I have been loving this one. It's such a great color corrector. And I apply it kind of like right under my eye where I have the most discoloration. And even like down here on my mouth, I do that area as well. Finger, kind of just blending this out. It's like one of the best, in my opinion, drugstore color correctors that I have found. And I love it because I just really I love how it's made. Like I love that it's in a stick form, so you just twist it up and then just apply it directly with the pen. But I also love the shade of it as well. I love that this definitely has more of a coral or apricot color because it's not too orange. Definitely more on the peach side, which I like. Okay, so now for the base, I'm going to take the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation. You guys know I have been loving this one. It's honestly like definitely one of my holy grail foundations, even including high-end foundations, but for drugstore, this one here, y'all, is bomb. I'm gonna take a little bit of this on the back of my hand. I'll do about 2 pumps. Okay, and then taking this oil here, it's the Botanics All Bright By Face facial oil. It's a really good oil. I'm gonna take this and add like 2 or 3 drops of that. Mix it in with my finger, and this just helps to sheer out the foundation so it's not too heavy, which honestly this foundation is not too heavy at all, but I definitely wanted more of a, like I wanted the coverage, which is why I use this foundation, but I just want a more lightweight consistency and just a little bit of a dewier finish. So I'm gonna apply this all over. And you guys know by now that I do love to dot it over my face first before I go in and blend it in. And the reason why is because I just find that for me personally, I get a much more even coverage if I apply it all over first and then blend it in. This is the Sigma Flat Kabuki brush, and it's taking this and just stippling that foundation into my skin. And you see how just mixing in that oil, how it still leaves the foundation. I mean, even though this foundation is definitely not super matte, but mixing the foundation definitely makes it look like, look at my skin. You see how it still leaves that dewy finish? That was what I was going for. Okay, beauty blender, and just press this into the skin. And this helps not only press into the skin, but it also helps to get rid of any like excess product, right? So you want to do this before you go ahead and set it with powder, so that way you won't have like extra foundation sitting on top of the skin. All right, there we go. And then I want to just go ahead and just spot treat real quick with this Covergirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. Now this is a shade Golden Caramel, which is a number D100. This is not my exact skin color. It is a little bit more on the olive side. Like, just look at this. It kind of has a little hint of an, to me, in my opinion, it says golden, but to me it does have a little hint of an olive undertone. So it's slightly off, but this is close enough to my skin tone to use as a spot treatment. So kind of going here where I have a little bit of darkness peeping through, and then same thing here around my mouth, and even kind of like here. Taking a brush and just kind of pressing this in to give that coverage. And you kind of see the undertone there why it's not exactly my skin tone. Not as close of a match as the L'Oreal, what is the shade, Honey, that I used for my skin complexion, but I use one all the time, so I was just like, let me go ahead and change it up and use a different brand. Next up, I'm going to highlight. I'm going to take the Covergirl True Blend Concealer. This time I'm taking the shade T300, which is a shade Warm Honey. And this is definitely a really good brightening shade. See how bright that is? The formula of this to me reminds me a lot of the L'Oreal Full Wear Concealer. You know, it's a really, really good drugstore one. And I really like this shade for... This is definitely a you know, if I want more of a brighter highlight, for sure. But I do like this shade nonetheless. Beauty blender. I'm just using small patting motions here to blend this out. Because the whole point is that you don't want to remove the cover, or well, unless you want a lighter coverage, you don't really want to remove product. You want to just kind of move it around and blend it out. So that's why I use small tapping motions to move it around. And then I turn to the side to blend out like the harsh edge here. There we go. You guys see that coverage? You guys see how it like instantly covered all of that and like really brightened my under eye? That is exactly what we want. And then to set my under eye highlight, or all the highlighted areas, I'm going to take this powder here. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in Medium Deep. I have raved about this before in past videos. This is such a good alternative to, you know, using like Laura Mercier, even the RCMA powder. So this powder right here is not translucent, right? It definitely has a tint to it. Like it is an actual color. Like if you do prefer to kind of tint your highlighted areas, like if you don't want to use translucent or a white powder, or just if you've used products in the past that just make your, you know, your concealer too white or too light, then consider using a tinted powder that gives you the highlight that you want, but that isn't, you know, too light or too bright. Because the key here is that you don't want to use anything that, if you do use a tinted powder, you don't want to use anything that's too light, because it, like, once it's there, it's there. That's why this here, the medium deep color, is perfect for my skin tone. Like, look at this. You see how that color there is, it's definitely highlighting my under eye area, but it's not too light and it's not too bright, so it won't look ghostly or like a, you know, like a mask there. And I personally love this shade. this shade here, the medium deep for my skin tone, is such the perfect hiding shade. So all those areas are set and now it looks flawless. Gonna do just a little bit of a cream contour, nothing too crazy. I'm gonna use the Haley's Beauty Foundation Stick in the shade 7.25. You guys know I love this one. It is my favorite foundation stick to use for bronzing and cream contour. And honestly, I haven't found anything that I love just as much as this one since I've started using it. It's such a good one. You can get it at Target or even their website. It's super affordable and it's just such a good cream product. And I mentioned whenever I was doing my Get Ready With Me, you guys know that I kind of switched up doing my cream contour. So now I just take it on the back of my hand, rub it in first, taking the brush, and then I apply it like that. This just knocks out 2 birds with 1 stone because I'm blending it as I'm applying it to my forehead. And I am bringing it a little bit further in on my forehead just because you guys know I obviously have a big forehead. So I am trying to shrink that a little bit. And see, you have a nice soft contour there. Just nice and seamless. Nothing too harsh. Same thing over here. Nothing too harsh or too crazy. And then same thing, taking a flat brush and getting a little bit off the back of my hand here and applying this to my nose. And don't forget that whenever you apply your cream contour, don't forget to drag it into the brow. Beauty blender, and go over that one more time. And again, this helps to remove that excess product as well. Because especially here on the nose where I get the oiliest the quickest, I don't want to have extra cream product sitting on top of my nose for sure. And for my face powder, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Powder. I am in the shade Coconut. And I'm going to just lightly apply this all over my face. You guys, this is definitely my go-to everyday powder. I wear this powder nonstop. Especially like to church and like for date night, stuff like that. Like I'll just reach for this one because it's such a good powder. It keeps my face matte. It does such a good job of controlling my oil, no lie. And it keeps my face looking flawless all day. And it really is full coverage. Can't forget my nose, same powder. I'm gonna just set those areas. Alright, and there we go. Okay, so base is pretty much done. Oh, last thing is gonna be, of course, to set that cream contour, cream bronzer. I prefer to use the term bronzer because I didn't really go too dark to make it more of a contour. But I'm going to go ahead and set the perimeter of my face with the Covergirl Full Spectrum Matte Ambition Powder. This is a shade Deep Cool 3. And this is a really good drugstore powder. I fell in love with Covergirl's Full Spectrum line. And I still love this powder. And it's just deep enough to use as a bronzer or a contour, depending on your skin type, without it looking too ashy. Like, kind of see how just applying this right in that area. And this one over here got a little bit muddy, so I'm gonna take the Maybelline powder and kind of go over this with my face colored powder just to tone this down just a bit. So that is done. Now on to blush. I'm gonna take the e.l.f. blush palette. Y'all, this e.l.f. blush palette is so bomb. I have been using this like non-stop for the past few months because it is really that good. It's in the shade Light, and I just take it honestly just mix all of them. Honestly, like I don't really have a specific one that I normally reach for, but it is such a good blush palette. Get the apples, smile. And then for highlight, I'm going to be taking the Wet n Wild Mega Glow powder in the shade Crown of My Canopy. I love this one, and I haven't even hit pan on it, and I've had it for forever. I'm going to take this. You guys see that glow? Like, just look how intense it is. It's so good, and it's like a couple bucks. Such a good highlight. Like, you guys see how drugstore products have really stepped it up, like seriously stepped it up to where it's like high-end products now are more of a, they're just an option. They're not a necessity anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it used to be back in the day, it was like if you wanted your makeup to look good, you pretty much had to splurge on it because drugstore products just were not cutting it. But I feel like drugstore products have really stepped it up and like pretty much compete with high-end products these days. Like, it's amazing. Nose. Okay, so my base is pretty much done. I don't think really have anything else left to do except for, of course, setting it at the end of the, the tutorial. For the eyes, I'm going to actually be trying out this Pixi Double Tap Eye Palette. And I got this actually from them in PR, which I'm very fortunate to receive. And I've used like one shade in here, but I haven't actually used the palette to create a whole look. So we're going to do that today. I want to bring you guys in closer here. Okay, so going into this gorgeous palette, I'm gonna go in with this matte soft orange color here. And just pop this into my crease. And this is like super light, so it's definitely not the best shade for my skin tone. That I do not like. I just like this shade here is not really women color friendly. And I wish this shade here, like I would love to go in with this shade in my crease, but it's not matte. At first I thought it was, but it's not a matte shade. It actually is shimmer. So I can't really use that in my crease, and that I don't like. I just wish it had like this brown here is matte, but I wish it had a medium or burnt orange matte color to pop into my crease before I go in with anything else. But you know, you do what you can. Applying this all over. And I really don't have any idea what look to go for you guys, so kind of just doing this as I go. Okay, so then next, I'm thinking of just doing the brown here and applying it on the outer corner of my eye and just, well, let's see if it shows up first of all. Okay, y'all, this palette is definitely on the trickier side to work with. I think it's just because it's not, to me, just initial impressions, the shadows are not pigmented enough for my skin tone. You know, like you can see it, but like barely. Even that dark brown is not really like dark brown. But I can tell you so far, this is something that I definitely am not a huge fan of, just off the bat. But I bet you though that the metallic shades are really gorgeous. Like, we'll just watch. Okay, so let's try to go in with this shade here. I love this purple is calling my name. Yes. See, I told you guys, the metallic shades are thebomb.com. I knew it. So I'm going to bring this up into my crease a little bit more than I usually do, since we didn't really have a whole lot going on in our crease because the colors didn't really show up. I'm going to just make this, the metallic shades, the star of the show. And in order to do that, I'm going to just bring this upwards so you can see this whether my eyes are open or closed. I do really love this metallic shade, honestly. It's so pretty. And this would be a drugstore palette. It's just showing up so well. So there are the eyes as of now. And again, remember that we really didn't do a whole lot in the crease because of the matte shade. So taking this fluffy brush, kind of just blending out those harsh edges. You guys know I just can't do anything harsh. So I just want to make sure that edges on this are nice and seamless, even here. And then I may even take some of this champagne shade here, since we're on a roll with the metallic shades or the shimmer shades. I'm gonna take this and kind of pop this here. I love how that looks with the champagne mixed with the purple. I'm gonna actually take this and drag this out just a little bit, just to create more of a bolder eye here. Actually, no, I'm gonna take this LA Girl gel pencil in the shade brown, and first apply this in the waterline. And just smoking that out. And of course, kind of drag that champagne color to the bottom. I feel like a galaxy girl. I find this definitely didn't go how I planned on it going, but made it work, so that's also important. But to me, again, that palette, I'm not really a huge fan of it. I really did like the metallic shades, but those matte shades just did not do anything for me, so that's kind of why I would personally bypass it. Now for brows, taking the Covergirl Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Soft Brown. I'm going to just outline my brow first. Okay, and then taking that same pencil but in the shade Honey Brown, which is actually a shade lighter than Soft Brown. I'm going to just take this and just feel in my brows really softly, like so. And I feel them in, I'm taking it and just making soft hair-like strokes. I'm not taking the pencil and just coloring it in because I want to definitely mimic natural brow hair. So, okay, there we go. And now we can go in with the Ardell Stroker Brow Feathering Pen to just create those natural brow strokes. Just taking this. Alright, and there go the eyes. So before I go ahead and pop on my lashes off camera, I'm going to go ahead and finish up my lips really quickly. For my lips, I'm thinking of doing, okay, so y'all know this started off as a soft glam look, but obviously it is not. Mainly because of what happened with the eyes had to go a whole different direction. So I'm thinking that for my lips I want to do something metallic and vampy. So I'm going to be using the Colourpop Lippie pencil in the shade On Ice. It's a really pretty dark plum lip liner, and I included this in the drugstore because even though it's not technically drugstore, it is extremely affordable, and it's also on the drugstore side of Ulta. So that's why I included this, and just line my lips. There we go. And then for lips, I'm thinking of using this Milani metallic matte lip cream here, and I have loved these for years. I honestly love Milani's lip products in general. They're such great quality, and this is in the shade the Ultimate, and I'm thinking that this metallic purple shade will look great with this eye. Oh yeah, this is definitely a very unique look for sure. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply my falsies off camera. For falsies, I'll be using this old pack of, or this old set of Ardell Demi Wispies. I'm going to apply these into mascara off camera, and then I will be right back with the final look. Alright guys, so here is the look so far. We're almost done. The last thing I want to do is to go ahead and add on this LA Girl Pro Powder. You guys know I've been using this. Well, actually no, take that back. I've really been loving the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder. It's my favorite one, hands down. However, this is a good affordable option in replace of that. This does not leave your under eye looking as flawless as the Charlotte Tilbury one. It does look a little bit more powdery. It's definitely not more of an airbrush finish. However, again, this is a good option if you don't want to spend 50 bucks on a powder. And I do use the shade Nude Beige. Great product, great option. And I just take a dome brush like this, dip it in the powder, and then just go over this area with that powder. And you guys see how it brightens it up, evens it all out, and makes it look really nice. Like, look at it. No powder, powder. So it makes a really big difference. Pretty much I just do it in the areas that I highlight except for the nose. Just make sure this is all blended out. Also do want to go ahead and set my brow hairs in place. I went ahead and filled them in, but I didn't set it with the brow gel. This is the CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow Gel. My favorite one is the NYX Control Freak Brow Gel. I love that one. I can't find it at the moment, so I picked up the CoverGirl one, and we'll see how this one is. Not bad at all. I still prefer the NYX. This little wand is just so small. Like, look how small it is. It's tiny. I'm like, I can barely grip the brow hairs with this, but it is doing the job. So honestly, like any clear brow gel would work. Okay, and the last step, of course, is to go ahead and set your face with a setting spray. This is also an item that I do not have in a drugstore product. I will say, though, however, that my favorite drugstore one, I would say, is probably the Morphe setting spray. I love that one. I just haven't run out of anything else to go buy it, but that is probably my favorite, more affordable setting spray to use. But for now, just using this Urban Decay Quick Fix spray here. Alright guys, so here's the final look of my all drugstore makeup tutorial. As you guys can see, we definitely did not do a soft glam look like I originally planned. More so because of the snafu with the palette here. But I really do love how this look came out. I feel like it's bold, it's bright, it's different, and it's definitely full glam, and it's definitely, you know, more so for an evening wear. Well, or you can wear it during the day, depending on your, you know, your personal preferences. But I love how it came out. I feel like it's giving me Valentine's Day vibes because of the purple and the pink. And I just love this combo. And I feel like it is, you know, very Kyra for sure. You guys know that I do love to play in color every now and then. And I also love creating looks that are not looks that you see every day on Instagram or, you know, on YouTube. I feel like it kind of gets repetitive. Everyone does the same looks all the time. And so I do love changing it up every now and then. You know, trying new techniques, new products, so on and so forth. And I really love how this look came out. So I hope you guys loved it as well. If you guys did enjoy this tutorial, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye guys.